What's poppin'? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining Adults Only today. We live in a world filled with so much to be thankful for. Why is it that so many of us find ourselves succumbing to the grasp of negativity? There is a great prevalence of negativity in our society. Today, we'll explore the underlying factors of negativity. So, so, excuse me, societal influences of negativity that contributes to this prevalent mindset. Today on Adults Only, me and Big Brother Jahi, we will unravel all the complexities of why so many Black individuals are drawn to negativity in our modern age. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring on the one and only Big Brother Jahi. Thanks for coming on, Big Brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Chaz. That was some kind of an intro. In other words, that was a hell of an introduction, man.
Well, I mean, and it's new for me. So like I said, yeah, this is different, and I really, really appreciate you. Are you feeling good today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm under the weather, but I'm doing okay otherwise because I know this subject has to be talked about. So I really
Yes.
want to get into it because I know you have a lot to say and I have a lot to say because
Yes.
you and we are a place of truth. We are a place of veracity. And we also are a place of verbal freedom where we can speak freely because no one
Right.
pays us. No one has us on chains, pulling our chains, telling us what to say. But with that being said, Chaz, you barking up a tree tonight that's pretty big, pretty thick, talking about
Yeah.
negativity. What's up with that? Why you want to talk about negativity?
For the most part, because it is something that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis. Even in our conversations, you come across coworkers, family. We're so negative, and I think it can play a big part in our depression and anxiety.
Mm.
So I really hate that a lot of us struggle with that, and it's a topic, brother, that we all need to touch on. I just want to say real quick, our viewer, Auntie Nuji, I appreciate it. She came on, said peace and blessings. But yes, negativity is something that if you're not careful, brother,
Mm-hmm.
this thing will make you commit suicide. There is
Whoa.
a lot of people, teenagers, elders, young adults. This thing will make you kill yourself. And I hate saying that, but you hear these kind of messages all the time on the news where people just get so frustrated and so negative about life, they delete themselves.
Yeah. That's very, very interesting, Chaz. We have another comment from a queen that says, Hotep, she's speaking to us. But Chaz,
Yes.
I think we better get this ball going because there's a lot that we must unpack. So the
Yes.
first thing we want to talk about is I know you wanted to bring this up, but I want to say there are some underlying factors of negativity. There are some
Mhm.
reasons that many of us are so negative, especially African Americans, people of color, Black people. We're just so negative, Chaz, and we
Mhm.
got to see why are we that way. Well, let's start talking about some factors, and I'm going to let you have this first one. So I'll let you
Okay.
read it and comment, and I'll piggyback off of it. Here's one of the reasons.
Constant exposure to negative information, such as the news. And I have to say this, brother, there's nothing wrong with watching the news. But I believe when you sit back and you watch that stuff for hours on hours, episode after episode, brother, that will mess you up mentally. And there's, once again, you do need to be aware of what's going on. But all these crimes, all these killings, someone getting stabbed, someone getting robbed, all this will make you go crazy if you digest this stuff for too long. So once again, the constant exposure to negative information, such as on social media. Every time you get on Facebook, TikTok, you see something crazy going on. Somebody blowing
Mhm.
their brains out. Some
Mhm.
young kid is unaliving themselves. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be graphic, but we have to go there.
Mm.
That was just real quick. I'll let you get the floor.
Yeah, because this constant exposure to negativity is what's bothering us. Because many of us are negative, Chaz, because that's all we get. That's all
Yeah.
we get is negative information. Our friends are negative. Our
Mm-hmm.
family members are negative. We are
Mm.
drowning in negativity. We never have
Mm.
anything good to say about anybody. We always talking about people. We're so
Ooh.
toxic, and we don't want to accept the fact that we've got to stop this because we're too old to be going through this negativity. Every time you look around, we can't say anything nice. We can't say
Yes.
anything good. And so we're
Yes.
constantly being bombarded with negative information, and it has rubbed off on us. And this is why many of us are so negative. Women are negative. Men are
Mhm.
negative. Husbands
Mhm.
are negative. Wives are negative. Children are negative. Grandchildren are negative. Mamas are negative. Daddies are negative. Nieces and nephews. It's too much negativity going on, and we've got to stop this information, Chaz. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, brother. I need to just walk back. Please let me walk back to what you touched on when you said, Sister Marie, she said hotel. We appreciate her phone here as well. Sister Mashana chimed in and said jealousy, big brother. I need to walk back to what you touched on. You said that our family members
Uh-oh.
always having
Uh-oh.
something negative to say.
Uh-oh.
And I'm about to go on a rant because I get pissed off every time we
Whoa.
look around. We always badmouth for somebody. Well, look at yourself. You're not perfect. And the fact that you got always something to say about somebody else, but when
Mhm.
somebody blasts you, you
Mhm.
don't want to say anything. You act like you're deaf. You act like you're blind. You don't want to hear anything. And I have a problem with it. And listen, there's nothing wrong with the family member saying, "Hey, brother Sean, he's in the hospital because he's got sick." Okay. But when you take it to say, brother Sean, he ain't paying his bills, he's not doing this, he's not
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
I heard
yeah,
he just lost his job. Oh yeah,
yeah.
and I did also hear that his girl left him. I mean,
Teach,
what
man,
does
teach.
that have to do with anything? And it burns me up because this is all we are bombarded with is negative family members gossiping about others, brother. It has to stop.
It must stop. But we're dealing with number two, because here's what another reason is, the reason that many of us are so negative.
Personal habits of negativity,
We have
which
habits
is
of it. Go ahead, Chaz.
real quick, missing deadlines, giving into anger, always
Mm,
procrastinating, and last
mm,
but not least, always complaining.
Chaz, hold on, man. You killing me. You killing me with this good stuff tonight, because you're telling the truth about we are so negative. Many of us are. And we don't realize that that negativity is something that is harming us internally. We've all of us talk about religion. All of us talk about spirituality. All of us talk about things that should help us not be this way. But we are the ones that are the negative ones. Every time
Yes.
we bring up somebody's name, like you just mentioned, we're throwing dirt on their name. We're throwing mud on them. We're
Mm.
always talking about people, and we
Mm.
never seem to be content. We never seem to be happy. And this
Yes.
negativity, it must stop, because it has to be dealt with. And that's a problem within our communities. And a lot of us don't want to face the fact of reality, and that is, we have personal habits of negativity. We wake
Yeah.
up being negative. We
Mm-hmm.
go to sleep being negative. And we
Mm-hmm.
repeat that cycle over and over again.
Number three, and this is one that is some critical, low self-esteem,
Uh-oh.
especially in the black community.
Mhm.
We have, and I'm talking about the media, has painted a picture of us being
Uh-oh.
lazy,
Mhm.
shiftless,
Mhm.
garbage,
Mhm.
don't want nothing out of life but to be on welfare food stamps.
Ooh,
We don't want to do anything except for sit at home and collect funds from the government. Brother, if you listen to a lot of our family members, and I keep going to them, not that I hate them, but a lot of our family members are dealing with low self-esteem. We
come
look
on,
at
Chaz.
ourselves,
Come on, man. Come on, Chaz. Tell me about that.
we look at ourselves, and it's gotten so bad, brother, where we're so down on ourselves. When someone compliments us and says,
Mhm.
you look good today, or you got a nice outfit on, we come back and flip it and say, oh, I'm not hitting on anything,
Oh, wow.
or I'm just a piece of crap. This low self-esteem is something that will lead a lot of people to suicide as well, brother. I hate saying it, but low self-esteem has to be dealt with, especially with our young teenagers as well.
We are drowning in negativity. Many of us have drowned in negativity. That's our subject tonight on Adults Only. And if it's too hot, as they say, get up out the kitchen, because this is hot tonight. And a lot of people don't want to deal with the fact that we don't feel good about ourselves, Chaz. We
Mm-hmm.
don't feel good about ourselves. So we tend to put other people down, see? And this is why we
Mm.
put other people down, because we have low self-esteem. And a lot of us
Mm.
don't want to face the reality and the fact. And the fact of it is we don't feel good inside. And
Mm-hmm.
so we want to put other people down. And we have to stop this because low self-esteem has led to a lot of disservices in our lives. And this is one of the reasons that we act the way we act. This is why we're drowning in negativity. This is
Yeah.
why we can't have unity. This is why it's hard for Black men to come together. This is why it's for Black women to come together, because a lot of us have low self-esteem and we don't see that that is adding fuel to the negativity that we already have.
Absolutely, brother. Number 4 is stress. That is something that they say you can't age quicker with stress. You can't stop what's going to happen, especially when you sit back and say, what am I stressing about? Whatever is happening is going to happen. Me stressing about it is not going to do anything but make the problem worse. And in fact, this is what leads to high blood pressure. Wow. This is what leads to a lot of people having to take supplements and medications because they cannot stop worrying about things that's out of our control.
Yeah, and we are so negative. And see, here's another thing we don't like to talk about. All of us who have children, we worry about our children so much that it becomes stressful. Yeah. And so then we become negative with everyone else. So because of our surrounding and because of our situation, we tend to always lump everybody in that same category that we're stressing about. And so we're angry and we're stressful and we become very negative. We become so bad when it comes to the negativity that we think this is a part of life. We never have anything good to say about anybody because we have stressful situations. A lot of us are sick. Yeah, our health is not the best. And so we don't feel good. And so we take that out on other people. And so we
come on, hit on that, brother.
We become very, very bitter because we're not feeling good. And we know that the end is near. And so we get angry with other people because we see the handwriting on the wall. And the end is near. And so therefore, we're negative towards everyone. We're negative towards everybody. And this must stop because this is what's killing us.
Number 5, economic mismanagement. And I'm looking down because I jotted a couple of notes here. Mismanaging finances, mismanaging resources. And I got to touch on what happened a few years ago, what happened with so-called COVID-19, when they got those PPP loans. Now, a lot of dudes got those PPP loans and went ballistic. But here's the sad part. Uncle Sam and the government came back. If you didn't pay those PPP loans back, they're coming back to put you in handcuffs. So with that being said, it all ties into economic mismanagement, which is basically, in a nutshell, mismanaging your resources.
What about this one, Chazz? You forgot this one. Let's say I have bills due that's over my head, bills that's just coming in, and I can't pay these bills, and I don't know where I'm going to get the funds from. So instead of me dealing with the ideal of I must do the best I can, I become negative towards everyone else because I have mismanaged my funds, and therefore, because I don't have anything, I'm this Grinch. I'm this mean person. No one wants to be around me because everything that I do and say is negative. And this is because my economic situation is terrible. I've created bills. I have bills coming in from the left, bills coming in from the right, bills coming in from the north, bills coming in from the south. And therefore, because I'm in this situation, I know that I can't manage all of these bills coming at me. So now I'm very, very angry. And I lash out at everyone that I can because of my own personal economic mismanagement.
I'm going to put my fat mouth right here on Broadway Street just real quick. I am a big fan of what you will call payment arrangements. Now, I don't care what people say. This is how I manage my little life. Here's the thing about it. Even though, like you said, sometimes the bills coming in left and right, up and down, north and south, if you can, try to work something out. Listen, we have to swallow our pride. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't have the money at this time. I can pay you in a week from now. I can give you $50 here, but I got to kick it 2 weeks later. Work with your landlord. Work with your phone company. I don't care what you say about me. I am going to be the first person to make sure I get me a pay. If you got a payment arrangement, call me and I'm gonna get that popping. Number 6, our personal experiences of past disappointments.
Chazz, please let me have that. Please, Chazz, I'm begging you to let me step in front of you on this one. I got
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Something happened to us when we were growing up, and it wasn't good. We have not let that thing go. So that past disappointment has stayed with us.
Yes.
Throughout our teenage years, throughout our young adult age, and now that we're older adults, that thing is kicking our behind, and we still don't see that we're negative because we haven't dealt with those past disappointments.
Yes.
Maybe we wanted to be a doctor. Maybe we wanted to be a lawyer, and that didn't happen. And so because we know that we can't do and be what we wanted to be, we're taking it out on everyone in this terrible situation. And this is why people don't want to come clean, because we're drowning in negativity. And a lot of us know that somebody may have hurt us in the past. And we're still carrying that. And we're angry because we couldn't get what we want to get. I know you want to say something about that.
I just want to touch on relationships, whites, blacks, Mexicans, and I think this is a big proponent. We say because when we were younger, someone always has been done wrong. I don't care who you are. Okay. But because I was done wrong, I'm not going to give this person a chance because I think he or she is like my past partner. And sometimes that could be the case, but that's not always the case. And you get in a relationship and you are always looking for loopholes, always looking for ways to disqualify the other mate. So you're making it worse than what you should be. And on top of it, you're making your own self miserable, because at the end of the day, that person is going to move on and you're going to be stuck there holding the bag.
You are the one drowning in negativity. I am the one drowning in negativity because of past traumas. A lot of us are going through traumatic experiences from the past. We won't let the past go. Something is bothering us from the past, and it's got a hold of us, and it just won't let go. So it makes us hopeless, brother. And not only does it make us hopeless, these things that have happened to us, they brought disappointments and negative experiences. And what that has done is that has shaped one's overall outlook on life. And that's why many of us are so negative. And this is why, without Brother Raymond, when Brother Raymond is on the broadcast, which apparently he's not tonight because he always posts. You know, people don't post as much. Many of the people that's watching this broadcast, I know for a fact, we have negativity in our lives, and we have people in our lives that are negative, and we won't comment. So we hide behind a cell phone. We hide behind a computer when we know that we should be commenting, because I know too many people that are negative. I have to watch my own self at times. I'm very negative, and I need to stop that. But you see, we take these cell phones and these computers and we hide behind them, and we don't want to comment, but we know that our sisters and brothers, cousins, we know that we're negative. So therefore, we're drowning in negative issues.
Number 7, unresolved past issues or dilemmas. For example, we may have had a auntie, a grandmother, someone who raised us from the past when we were young kids or teenagers, and they may have done us wrong, and we let that trauma sit in us, build in us, infest in us. And here you go, when you get older, you just, like you said, you're taking it out on everybody because this is something that you didn't resolve as a young teenager.
That's so true, Chazz. There are so many unresolved past issues or dilemmas. I notice people jump on and they jump off of the broadcast because we're touching on something now that a lot of people don't want to handle. A lot of us don't want to look ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what? You need to quit being so negative. You really do. And these unresolved past issues are going to continuously be in our lives. As a result of that, we're going to continuously be negative, Debbie Downers. We're going to always run around saying negative things about people, talking about people, starting up mess, being toxic. And this is something that we have to get a grip on, because all of us have unresolved past issues or dilemmas. But we're allowing those things to make us negative, because as we talk about tonight on this broadcast, many of us are drowning and have drowned in negativity.
Number 8, lack of meaning or no connection to others. And I want to take it a step further.
Okay.
Further, not wanting to be around anybody. You
Ooh,
don't
we
want to
just
talk to anybody. You don't want to meet up and go get a cup of coffee. You don't want to go get any ice cream. You just shut the world off.
so you become negative.
And negative. Not if someone calls you, says, "Hey, I'm free at Saturday at 3 o'clock. Do you want to go to bowl or whatever you want to do?" We just shut that person off because something on the inside, brother, is tearing us up, and we refuse to deal with it. We
Well,
refuse to deal with it.
we have lack of meaning in our lives, as this thing says, and we're not connected to other people. We don't want to be bothered. We don't want to be around people unless we want to be around people. We don't want to do what we need to do to make sure that our lives are fulfilling with meaning. And so, because we have no meaning and we're not connected, everything we see, everyone we see, we become very negative towards them because we don't have anything to plug into that brings about positiveness. We are some very, very negative people, and most of us don't want to admit it, but we're just negative. And this is why these kinds of broadcasts
They
are,
hard hitting.
yeah, they're not popular because we
Yes.
know listen, you're drowning in negativity. I'm drowning in negativity. Our relatives are drowning in negativity. Our friends, our mothers are drowning in negativity. Our fathers, our cousins are drowning in negativity. Our families are drowning in negativity. Our grandchildren are drowning in negativity. We have too many people that are so negative because we lack meaning, and we got to stop this. What about this one, Chazz?
And I need to touch on this. Number 9, uncertainty about the future.
So why
Now,
are we negative about that, Chad? Why would we be negative about that?
For number 1, it looks dark, and I must admit, from being an observer, it does look dark. They're saying that supposedly a company called Bricks have basically sat down together behind closed doors, and they're talking about collapsing this dollar. Now, we all know we need money to survive, but once they collapse this dollar, brother, and that's coming in the future, I'm not a prophet. I just know this is what they say that's coming. Once this dollar collapses, we really are going to be in a world of trouble because we're so obsessed with material. And like you said earlier, we may have planned to be something. We may have planned to be a doctor, lawyer, a dentist, or what have you. But we see that we can't accomplish it. So now, since we can't accomplish it, we're just frustrated about the future because we don't have a backup plan.
Let me take a page out of your book because we have a comment that I want you to read. It's lengthy, but I want you to take your time and read it. But before we read this comment, what about this one, Chazz? Uncertainty about the future. We've been told all of our lives that when we die, we're going to go to a place that's better. We know we ain't living the way we're supposed to live. We know that the game is almost over. So we're angry because we don't really know if we're going to go there. So we're very negative. And this is the only way out, is to kick and scratch and claw and fight and become bitter. And this is why many of us are negative. But here's something that I guess a queen wanted us to read.
Let me see here. My phone is dark. Nah, I can read it. It says, I watch several digital creators on social media. Give me 1 second. Let me lighten up my phone.
Okay.
It says, I watch several digital creators on social media. They range from straight, gay, lesbians, homosexuals, and more. They're comedians, musicians, crackheads, etc. It has turned into a circus. They're bashing one another from every angle, which is completely taken away from the real entertainment. Every platform that is available, they're on it, putting each other down about any and everything. It's sad. It's pathetic. I find no pleasure in all negativity, period. I want to say something real quick before you get the floor. She's right. Most of these TV shows, and I hate to step on you sisters' toes, these shows are nothing but negativity, nothing but drama. Who's sleeping with whose boyfriend? Who got caught at the club, doing things that they had no business doing? And on top of it, this is what we feed the soul. And before you know it, we're in a constant state of misery because, but I do believe what you put into your mind and soul, eventually it will act out. Meaning, if you're watching a lot of crap on TV, you'll become a negative, Debbie Downer. If you're watching good things, you will become a good person. And it slipped out. It says Debbie Downer. So I just said that. Influenced by Debbie Downer's brother. I hate doing this. Let me please go get my phone charger real quick. I'm at 5%.
Okay, and I'll take this and I'll keep going.
Okay.
So while Chaz steps away, please let me handle this, people. We are saying tonight on our broadcast that our title is Drowning in Negativity. This show is called Adults Only, and this show is seen every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We talk about subjects that a lot of you don't want to talk about, but a lot of us know that we are very negative, and a lot of us are influenced by Debbie Downers, which are negative people. And this is why we are the way we are. Now, Chaz just got finished talking about how the media has influenced us. But there's some things going on now on social media with these comedians who's going back and forth. And somebody's on this comedian side. Somebody's on that comedian side. And it keeps us going at each other like little bitty kids, as opposed to looking at our issues that we need to be trying to deal with. So because we are influenced by Debbie Downers, now this is all we do. We get caught up in social media. We get caught up in the mess, the toxic mess that's on these social media platforms. And then we find ourselves being drugged into that. And this is why many of us are so negative. So I'm encouraging us. We should not allow this to happen. We should not allow these comedians and these other entertainers and these athletes, we should not allow these people to get us caught up in the mess that they have going on. It's not about that. It's about being positive about yourself. It's about being positive about your community. It's about being a very, very social and trying to make sure that as a people that we continue to move the needle forward to help our little babies, to help our grandchildren, to help our great-grandchildren. But a lot of us are just messy. We're just messy. And we've got to stop that because we've been influenced by people who are messy. So as Chaz continues to get his phone squared away, I will talk about this because many of us are drowning in negativity. And the reason why we're drowning in negativity is because we're influenced by Debbie Downers. We allow other people that are so negative to always put things in our ear, and that translates into our hearts. And as a result of it, we become very negative people. And this should not be. If you notice all the things we're going through as a people, we should not have time to sit around and be down and be negative. We should be trying to find solutions to our problems. We should try to be finding answers to what we're going through. And this is why many of us find ourselves in this situation. Another reason that we are drowning in negativity, I must say, is this. A lot of us are lonely. Now, I want to slow the train down and I want to speak to someone's heart right now. I understand that loneliness, sometimes it gets us down. But what I'm trying to say is loneliness should not make us very angry and negative, you see. And this is why we should address this loneliness, because loneliness have a way of making us feel down. It has a way of making us feel sad. It has a way of making us sulk. It has a way of always putting us in a situation where our feelings are not the way they should be. So as your big brother, I'm saying to all of you, because of the love that Chaz and I have for you, we are drowning in negativity, and some of us have drowned in negativity, but don't let this loneliness that I'm talking about, don't let this loneliness be a reason why you are negative. You don't have to be negative. I don't have to be negative. But because we feel bad, because no one likes us, or because we're always to ourselves, because the whole world is against us, those reasons are not good enough for us to be negative. And I'm saying to all of you beautiful people out there, I'm saying to all of you who are watching this broadcast, you and I alike, we must stop being so negative. Stop it. Because negativity is that which will take us out of this earth. It will kill us, brothers and sisters. And you know that is true. It will bring about stress. It will bring about heart attack. It will bring about high blood pressure. It will bring about diabetes. It will bring about ulcers. And I can go on and on and on. But what I'm really trying to say is, instead of us drowning in negativity like most of us are doing, we have to set an example for these children that's coming up behind us. Because your children and my children, they see us being negative. They see us griping all the time. They see us complaining all the time. And they pick that up when they get older. And when they become adults, they repeat the same process. So what I'm trying to encourage us all to do is to stop this nonsense, because this nonsense have gone on for too long. And this nonsense is the reason that a lot of us cannot get together with other people, because we're very, very negative.
Big brother,
Chaz, I'm glad you're back, but I went on a rant about loneliness is a reason, because a lot of us lash out because we're lonely, man. And that's not a reason for us to be negative.
Big brother, real quick, I gotta swap my phone out real quick. I'm at 1%.
Technical difficulties. Let me. Okay, I'll carry the show, brother. I'll carry the show until you get back. So I'll go to the next one. So take care of business.
I'm getting ready to. I was gonna say if you could send me an email, because I was gonna swap my other phone.
Okay, send you an invite.
Yeah. In fact, I'll tell you what.
Is it your Gmail?
Just come back in 5. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm so sorry about this.
Okay.
Brother.
All right. Okay. So as you can see, we're talking about drowning in negativity. Many of us are. And so this is why we as a people need to realize that negativity should not be what we're getting into. Now, here's another reason. Some of us are negative because of some societal influences of negativity. In other words, we have so much around us that's negative. We have so much that is around us that's negative, till that what's around us, it begins to influence us. It begins to influence our way of thinking. It begins to influence how we see other people. We're always talking bad about other people. Many of us are. And so this has become a part of our lives. And so as the subject says tonight, drowning in negativity, we've got to stop that, y'all, because we are just too old, as I said earlier, to be this way. We have too many problems in our community to be negative. We have too many things going on that we need to try to fix than to sit around and talk about one another. We never have anything positive to say about people and trying to upbuild people. A beautiful empress says this. She says, that's when you have to remove yourself from the situation. And she's absolutely correct, which was one of our points that we're going to talk about coming up. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from these people. Yeah, that's true. But a lot of us don't know how to move ourselves. We don't want to remove ourselves because they have become a part of our world. They become a part of our thinking. They become a part of our universe. And instead of saying, I don't want to be bothered with that negativity, or we can't take a conversation that's negative and turn it into something that's positive. You know, we just have to go along with the program. And that's why a lot of us are as old as dirt, and I'm included. We are as old as Methuselah. But at the same time, many of us are still allowing this negativity to get the best of us. So what I'm saying is this. We've got to stop allowing societal influences to get the best of us when it comes to this negativity. And I know that as a people, we have gone through a lot when it comes to racism, when it's come to sexism, when it's come to bigotry, when it's come to all of those things that have affected us as a people. But we have enough ills as it is. So the way we've been treated should let us know that we shouldn't treat one another like that. We should not treat one another like that, because we as a people, brothers and sisters, we have so much that's going on that we should be grateful for, other than to be negative about. So I'm going to continue to have this broadcast. I'm going to send Chazz out another one of these invites. So, and hopefully he'll get this invite so he can come back on, because, you know, we definitely want this brother to come back on and to chime in with us about what we're talking about. So here's another reason that many of us are negative. Our social climate. In other words, I just talked about it, but the way we've been treated is not right. It's not fair. The way they treated our ancestors, the way we are being treated now. The way the police is brutalizing us, the way we're not being paid equal pay, the way we're seen in the media. But we take our frustration out on others with being negative. So since we know what's been happening, we should not allow this to have us to treat one another like that. And this is why I know that our society is falling. Our society is weak. Our society is sick. Our society needs help. And many of you don't want to hear this. And this is why these words are not really encouraging to you, because instead of taking these words as an encouragement, you take these words as something else. And therefore, you don't want to hear this because your appetite has been reduced to nothing but negativity. If I was on this broadcast talking about other people, downing other people, talking bad about other people, we would have very, very many people to follow us. But because we're trying to teach, because we're teaching you the importance of being men and being women and being young men and being young women and realizing that we're all in a dilemma. And so we don't have time for being negative. And this is why it's crucial for us to look at this information that we're talking about tonight and do better. Challenge your own self. Ask yourself this as I ask myself this. Am I being negative all the time? And if the answer is yes, cut back. Am I listening to negativity all the time? If the answer is yes, cut back. Am I allowing people to get me to be negative? If the answer is cut back. So stop allowing our social climate, the way we've been treated by Europeans, is not right, but we can't take our frustrations out on each other by being negative. Jump in here, Chazz, and tell us what you think.
Big brother, man, I am really, really sorry for what just happened. Me not being prepared, me misplacing my phone charger. But I've heard you've been going on. In fact, it says our social climate, the way we've been treated is not right, but we must take back the frustrations out on others with negativity. I kind of would disagree, because if we always look to punch back or to get back at people, that's not making anything better either. So with that being said, it's just a crying shame and a disgrace.
Yeah, because it's saying our social climate is the reason. It says the way we've been treated is not right, but we take our frustrations out on others. So it's not saying strike back. It's saying the way we've been treated, we should not allow other people to make us become the very people that they may be. Yes. And what about this one?
Felt emphasis on success. We brought this up a little bit earlier. We may have aspired to be a certain doctor, lawyer, whatever. But here's the thing. When it fails, that's not the end of the world. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer of a process. And if that does not work out and you see you can't be that, whatever you're trying to be, make sure that you have a fallback plan. Because if you don't, you're just going to be taking your anger out on people. And no one wants to be around a miserable person like that. So, and they always say, let me ask you this, brother. Do you believe that they say sometimes rejection is for protection, is what some people will say?
Yeah, and it depends on the circumstance. But as you just said earlier, you know, a lot of us want to be things in life. But when we can't be those things that we want to be, that's no reason for us to go off on other people. There's no reason for us to harbor those emotions and those feelings and then blast other people, put other people down, talk about other people, step all on other people. You know, we've got to stop this, because a lot of us are doing it, but we're not acknowledging it. And this is why this broadcast tonight is talking about drowning in negativity, because a lot of us have already drowned in there.
C, a breakdown of our expectations in life. And like you mentioned earlier, some of us who have children, grandchildren, we may feel like we expecting them to be something. And sometimes it turns out they did not become who we wanted them to be. And if that happens, don't treat them like crap. Don't treat them like garbage. Sometimes things just does not work out. And we have to accept that in life. I mean, we can sit back and want all we want. We can sit back and do whatever we think we should do. But if they don't work out, then that's just how it is. And we have to, and I have to do this for myself as well, come to the grips with sometimes it's just not meant to be.
Yeah. And if it's not meant to be, quit being negative, because this is a message that we all should be taking to heart. I'm talking about Chazz, myself, and
Yeah.
all of our viewers and all of your friends and all of your family and all of my family members, because a lot of us, we have expectations in life. And when those expectations aren't fulfilled, we begin to break down and begin to blame people, curse people, treat people wrong, be
Eee.
negative, talk about people, downgrade people, belittle people. And I'm saying we cannot be this way. And this is why this broadcast should be so wide read, so wide seen, because these are issues that many of us aren't acknowledging. But we have to say that that's a problem. And one queen says, that's when you have to remove yourself from the situation. And then another queen says, Ashe. But Chazz, I want to put up the next point, because this is the one that I want to talk about, but I'll let you take a stab at it first.
Religious dogma. Now, brother, like you said, you stole a piece out of my page a little bit earlier when we talked about the afterlife, especially in the Christianity. A lot of people feel like when they leave this earth, they've been told they're going to go to a place called heaven. Some would like to push back and say, if you haven't lived a certain lifestyle and repented, you're going to go to another place. Now, the religious dogma is something that I would like to touch on just real quick, and I know this is your specialty, is because if you believe in this, whatever you say you believe in, live it out and you have nothing to worry about. But see, we don't want to live it out. We talk about it, but don't want to be about it. We talk a good game, but can't bag it up. So I just think that if we really are who we say we are in this religious stuff, spirituality, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Allah, whatever you believe in, walk it out.
Yeah. And you won't have to be negative, because if you're doing what the principles say, because we know that all of these religions, as whack as many of them are, there are some good points that they teach us how to treat people. And I know they don't want us to go around here talking about other people, because I think there's one in the Bible that talks about how we need to take, instead of looking at our brothers with a beam in our eye, we need to take that thing out of our own eye first before we can start judging people. And what I wanted to say about this religious dogma is this: if you're in a religion, or spiritual setting that teaches you to dislike other people, because that's a problem. That makes you negative towards people like us. So you don't see us as equal. You don't see us as the same. And these bow-legged preachers, many of them, these bow-legged preachers, they go around and tell you that you're better than other people because of your religious affiliation or dogma. Because you are a Baptist, you're better than a Methodist. Because you are a Catholic, you're better than a Protestant. Because you are a spiritualist, you're better than this. These things have no place in our lives. And this religious dogma has made us messed up in the mind, because a lot of us think, if you don't believe like me, if you don't go to my same spiritual house, if you don't go to my church, if you don't go to my mosque, if you don't go to my temple, then we are told that there's something wrong with other people. So we become negative towards them, and we got to stop this dumb stuff.
And I would just want to walk it back real quick. I don't know if we have any Muslims or people who believe in Allah or whoever this guy is, but I was told by a lot of people, and we've seen these type of documentaries, brother, where I believe they will strap a bomb on themselves, and they believe if they blow up an airport, they blow up an apartment complex, they blow up a gymnasium, they believe they will die and get 7 or 8 or 9, 10 wives, and that is far from the truth. I don't care who. There is something totally wrong with saying, if I kill someone because of my belief, I'm going to be rewarded. That's just terrible.
And that's not all of, that's just those who have taken that thing, like some of the Christians and the spiritualists who go around killing people and then put a cross up or put a Bible up when they go around and making people believe what they believe. So they become so negative that they will take your life, man. And here's one that we're going to have to spend some time with. If we don't get done with this tonight, Chazz, we can pick it up next week, because this is something we got to comb. We cannot just go through this. This is the one. I know you want to say something about this next one coming up, because I do too, but I'm going to hit it. I'm going to let you see it, and then you can deal with it.
Okay. Family influence. Now, there is nothing wrong with looking up to people in our family. It's totally nothing wrong. But my issue is when you have family influences, what you can't think for yourself. You got to call and check with this relative just to say, what's your take on this? And whatever they tell you, you go with it. It could be far from the truth, way out in left field. But because you look up to that family member, you run with it. Damn it, you don't have a mind for yourself.
Ooh,
and I that slip, but it's that a lot of us, and I'm not slamming our family members, I just think it's frustrating that a lot of us, brother, we're almost 70, 80 years old. And we cannot think for ourselves. We got to keep checking with somebody.
And we're negative because if I listen to my brother and he's griping and being all the time and complaining because I'm so used to that, now I've become that way. If I'm listening to my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, my brothers, my sisters, and they're always complaining, I pick that up and then I become the same way because after all these years, that's all we know. And these family influences is one of the biggest problems that we don't want to address. We don't want to talk about it. Now, here's something that some people don't want to say this, but some of our very mothers and our fathers, our mothers and our fathers have been so negative. And we grew up as children and we've heard them all of our lives talk about people, put people down, talk about people. And then when we become adults, we do the very same thing. And we think that what we're doing is real and natural, but it's unnatural for a grown man and a grown woman to always sit around and complain and talk about people and be negative about people.
Yes. Sister Barbara says teach. And it is, brother, every family has this. It looks like a brother by the name of Angelo said, I find another location to enjoy peace. I meditate at different churches, but when negativity is involved, then he stopped. I think he's saying that when negativity is involved, he probably skedaddles.
He
brother,
should. He should.
And he should, brother. I appreciate the comment. I believe he's new, but yes, if you do see negativity and you sense it, quit sitting around gossiping. That is one thing that I cannot tolerate. Gossiping about any and everybody as if you something.
Listen, many of our family discussions are negative. They're negative. We go to these buildings and they're negative. You go hear a sermon, it's negative. You go to a building, it's negative. You go talk to your friends, it's negative. And so we have this negative, these negative vibes, this negative energy. It's all around us, man. And we don't know how to come out of it because our minds have been saturated with negativity. And therefore, when someone says, hey, Chazz, man, you know, every time I talk to you, you always complaining, you always talking about people. Instead of you saying, you know what, brother, I got to look at myself because you're right. You're going to get angry with me and start talking bad about me because you can't handle the truth because you know that you're negative and you know that I'm dealing with you. And instead of you saying as a man, you're right, brother, you're going to come down on me because your family have screwed you up, man, messed your mind up.
And I just wanted to say this real quick and I'll give it back to you, brother. If there's a couple, and I'm not dogging these members out, but there is a few members, if we're being honest, in all of our families, mine, yours, the listeners.
Don't say a few, Chazz. Don't say a few members, say a lot of them because there's a lot of them, you know it is.
Oh, no, I'm just saying there's a few members that when you see their name or you see their text message, you try to avoid it because you already know off the rip, these people are negative. So, and I hate saying that because it is people like that where you try to avoid them at all costs because you know what's going to happen.
They're very negative. One queen says negativity will mentally drain you. She's right. It will mess your mind up because negativity has this way of just draining you. But see, a lot of us have become so negative for so many years, Chazz, that we think this is a part of life. We think this is it because every time you talk to them, it's never anything positive. It's always something that is negative. Let's talk about the cure for negativity.
I would say balance. And I was just going to ask you that, brother, balance. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows, but sprinkle some positivity. Look forward to some things. Now, when I say balance it, once again, don't mistake me and say, oh, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to always be clicking on all cylinders. No, but balance it out because when you balance positive and negative, like the sister Mashonda just said, you'll have a more sane mind. You're not always depressed. You're not always bitter, angry, taking antidepressants for this anger. But you have to balance somewhat positivity with negative energy to stay sane in this psychotic world.
We must learn from challenges and see them as opportunities for growth. That's one of the things we can do. See, this broadcast ain't always about things that you don't want to hear about. We always try to give you some encouragements at the end so that we can put them in our hearts. So the answer to being negative all the time is learn from the challenges that we see, that we face, and then see them as opportunities for growth, as opposed to opportunities to be negative. See them as opportunities for growth, because a lot of us don't look at opportunities like that. And this is why most of us are drowning in negativity. And then here's another one that you said: limit our exposure to negative influences. That means people, as the brother said, and the media also, Chazz, because we will not get away from those people that are causing the grief, because most of us are drowning in negativity. And this is why we're not serious about life. This is why our children are going to be this way. This is why our grandchildren are going to be this way. This is why we're the way we are, because we don't know what to do with this negativity. So we don't want to look at broadcasts that comes on every Wednesday that's going to teach how to deal with these issues. And therefore we avoid it. And as a result, we're going to die, go to our grave as negative people, Chazz.
It's sad. Number 3. Practice gratitude by focusing on positive aspects in your life. Yes, brother, I just talked about it. There's something that we all are struggling or fighting with, but there's always someone that's lesser than us, meaning that they're probably financially worse off than us. They may not have a vehicle. They may have to catch the bus. There's always someone looking at us saying, I wish I was that person. So count your blessings, as they say, and be thankful for what you do have. Because when you're always dwelling on what you don't have, or when you're dwelling on things that you want to get and you can't obtain it, you will become negative. So once again, take the things that you do have in life, be thankful for it. Because here's the sad part, and I'll give you the floor, brother. The things that we have, we take for granted. Don't you know me and you sitting up here holding this cell phone? There's somebody that doesn't have a hand. There's somebody who doesn't have eyes. There's somebody who can't get up and take a piss if they had to. There's somebody who can't get up out of a chair because they're in a wheelchair. So when these things get taken from us, we get depressed and we lose it. But these things you have to be thankful for, because there is somebody who can't even open their eyes, brother, because they're blind. They're literally blind.
You are teaching tonight, Chazz, because tonight's subject, for those who just joined in, the name of this broadcast is called Adults Only, because we talk about adult situations that we should be talking about. But yet tonight, our subject is drowning in negativity, because many of us are drowning in negativity. You're negative. I'm negative. We're negative. Your family's negative. Your friends negative. All of us are negative. We've got to stop that. And so Chazz is saying that one of the things we can do is to practice gratitude, because if we're grateful for what we have, we don't have a reason to be negative, because there are so many people that's worse off than us. And instead of saying, I'm thankful for what I have and who I am, we're griping and complaining. And that shows an ingrate. That shows an ingrate. And that's what it's all about. Because Chazz, if you want to look at this final point, we're going to say, we're going to leave out of here on this, because we do have a comment I want to get to. But here's something we must do when we talk about this is how we cannot be negative. So don't leave this broadcast saying all we talked about was negativity. No, that was our subject. Right. But you ignore, brothers and sisters, if you listen to what we're saying, these are the cures for being negative. Now, do you want to be cured? Do you want to be cured? Do I want to be cured? Because if we want to be cured of negativity, this is what we must do. Focus on solutions and focus on your doggone self.
Yes. Solutions, and let me be clear, solutions aren't going to be overnight. Sometimes solutions takes months, weeks, but you have to strive at solutions, because without them, you're going to be in the same spot complaining about the same old. And like you just mentioned, not to be selfish, to always think about ourselves, but try to think about ways how we can better ourselves, because we don't want to be that grumpy family member who nobody wants to be around. Wow. Nobody wants to talk to. Nobody wants to get in the car and go get a cup of coffee with them, because they see life at a negative rate. So with that being said, and I just wanted to touch on real quick something I just thought on, brother. Do you not know, and it dawned on me, that there is people, and I'm sure you know this, in the hospital, brother, with tubes all up in and out of every hole in their body.
Woo!
They are almost 2 or 3 seconds away from death. And me and you and most of us Americans are sitting here angry because we couldn't go get a new Louis Vuitton backpack. Brother, this stuff
Mm.
this stuff is terrible.
It is. We got another comment from Brother Matthew. That's who is it. His name is Brother Matthew. I know this brother.
Okay.
He says, like an example of if you don't follow their pastor, priest, or leaders of the church guidance, he says, then it is if it's not following your living, you're wrong. In other words, if it's not followed, then you're living wrong, they say. Living wrong is sometimes someone else's way, and you see living your own way, which does give you peace. Friction is doing something that gives you a negative feelings, so be halted, or that's halted or hated, halted. So he's right, man, because some people try to put their own personal emotions on us or their religion, and if we don't follow those religions, they try to see us as negative. And this is the problem with the world today. Most of us don't want to focus on ourselves, because if I focus on myself, I don't have too much time to talk about you. If I focus on myself, I have too much in my own yard to be cleaning out than to be looking at your yard, trying to take out trash and show you where you need to clean your yard up.
Yeah, as the old folks say, sweep around your own front door before you come around mine. Now, let me just say this real quick to Brother Matthew that just mentioned. If he is following a church or anybody that believes in Christianity or whatever, if the pastor is not teaching sound doctrine, you are supposed to go against it. So for the pastor, not Brother Matthew, but for the pastor to get angry, he's not listening to my doctrine, or he's challenging my doctrine. I've been a bishop for 50 years. Who is this? No, if the doctrine is wrong, you escape. You get away from that. Wow. So Brother Matthew is spot on. If you're following a pastor that's teaching you nonsense, skedaddle and get away. And thank you, Brother Matthew.
Yeah, so, and I think this is a subject that we need to talk about. Again, I'm going to keep repeating this because we need to hear it. The name of this broadcast is Adults Only. We come on every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we talk about subjects that a lot of us don't like to talk about. But the bottom line is our subject, we always give encouragement at the end as to how to be better people. Don't you want to be a better person? Because tonight we've been talking about how many of us have drowned in negativity. And we don't have to drown in negativity. Right. We can be positive people if we focus on ourselves. Quit letting our family members and our friends and our religions and our spirituality, quit allowing those things to make us bitter and making us be angry and always talking about people. So what I'm trying to say is it's something that we have to do. He says, you're right, Chazz. Brother Matthew says you're right. He says he moves on. He has to move on, but he said he moves on. Go ahead, Chazz.
I was going to ask you real quick, brother, before we wrap up. I know we got a couple minutes left. I want to be quick. I have enjoyed this broadcast. I know we don't ask you this on air, but can we please come back for a week 2 for another round?
Okay. Yeah, we're going to come back for another one. Since Chazz has spoken, we'll come back for another one because this is very important, because you need to go out and tell somebody to watch this broadcast. Not because of Chazz and I, but because you know somebody that's negative. Hell, you're probably negative. I'm negative. We know people that are negative, and we're going to give you some more cures. We didn't give you that many cures, but we're going to focus more on next week. What do we need to do practically? This is a pragmatic broadcast. And Chazz and I, we are the content owners of this broadcast, and we want you to leave this broadcast saying, those brothers challenged us, but they also gave us something very, very profound that we can go by to become better people. Now, I'm going to play our little music, and I want you to know that we're going to be getting out of here, and I'm going to let Chazz have the last words. But I want to say to all of you, we thank you for watching this Adults Only.
Yes.
Please tell somebody, message somebody next Wednesday, because we're going to do a part 2 to this drowning in negativity, because we want you to know that we really care for you and your family. Yes. We don't want you to be negative. You don't have to be negative. Yes, you can tell the truth when things are not right, but to constantly be negative every waking day, there's something wrong with your heart. There's something wrong with my heart and my soul and my mind if every day I'm just negative, 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 negative. And so we've made that a reality. But we've got to stop it because there's too much going on in this world for us to continuously be the negative people that we are, Chazz. And so we really got to stop this. And so I say to all of you tonight, Shem M Hotel, to all of you, because we want you to know, we want you to lead in peace. So I want to give Chazz these words, and then I want you to just muse on what we said tonight, because we don't want you or your children or anyone to end up in this pool of negativity. So Chazz, go ahead and take it away and get us out here.
I want to say, and I usually don't do this, but this is going to be my new thing at the end. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Sister Mashonda, Sister Marie. We got a new brother by the name of Matthew. You guys could have been anywhere else watching anything, doing God knows what, but you guys said, I want to find some information that's going to benefit me for an hour. So we appreciate all the viewers. Now, tonight's subject was simple. Stop being so negative. Can't you tell that this negativity that we're drowning in is one of the main reasons why our healths are screwed up? This is the main reason why some of us, and I hate saying this, brother, we will leave this earth early because we have too much bottled up inside, and this stuff will make us go insane and explode. Thirdly, when things aren't working out, sometimes they're just not meant to be. So you're creating more of an issue, fighting against things that just aren't meant to be. So quit stressing about things. Quit work. You stressing, me stressing means nothing. And I just want to say this real quick before I forget. For everybody that's listening or that is new, these messages are for me and big brother Jahi as well. We're not talking down. This is for me too. I struggle with things. I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint.
Teach.
So I want people to understand that, because I know somebody say, oh, he thinks he's better. No, I'm telling you, because this is something that we all deal with. And for our family members who are notoriously known for gossiping and just backbiting, you need to stop. Wow. Because if someone had a camera following you around 24/7 and critique everything in your life, I know we will find some dirt. So let's please quit criticizing every little thing that others do. And once again, brother Matthew was coming back. We hope you come back next week. I appreciate you, brother. But once again, stop the negativity, because it's detrimental to my health, your health, and everybody else's. We'll be back next week for week 2 of this topic. Take care, everybody, and have a fantastic night.